discovery using Apache Zookeeper and Curator framework. And in this video, in the second video, I will demonstrate how to implement load balancing using Netflix Ribbon Loadbalancer. Yeah, let's start. So let's see what we have done till now. In our first video, we have created a multi-module project with two submodules. The first one we called Springcloud Demo Discovery, and the second one Springcloud Demo Web. In the first module, in the discovery module, we have defined a service registry. We call it like this, service registry, which has got one method, get instance. This method will get the service name and will return back the information for the service instance. As I told before in my previous video, one service can have multiple instances, and given the service name here as a parameter, this method will return the information of the service instance. That was the first submodule. In the second submodule, we defined the controller. Our demo web, we define a controller which uses the service registry in order to fetch the information for a given instance from Zookeeper. But for more detail, you can see my first video in order to get to dive deeper in this structure. In this video, as I told, we will implement the load balancing using Netflix Ribbon Loadbalancer. For that, I will create another submodule. I will call it Springcloud Demo Load Balancer. Springcloud Demo Load Balancer. Yeah. Okay. For that, I need, since this module will deal with the load balancing, I need the dependency to the Netflix Ribbon. I will copy it from my demo web. First of all, I will need all of these dependencies. First, I will put them here. Okay. And as I told, I need this extra dependency, which is the dependency to Netflix Ribbon. Yeah, and now let's build our projects. Save first, let's build our projects to get the dependencies in place. Okay, we need still one main class. Let's define it here. I will call it first package JavaLab, com JavaLab Springcloud, and I will call the main class here Springcloud Load Balancer, Demo Load Balancer. Okay, let's define main method here. Build the project first so that we can get the dependencies. Okay, import the changes. Now I've got the dependencies. I will annotate this class since it's a Spring Boot application. I will annotate it with Spring Boot application. And since I will use this class as my Ribbon clients, I will annotate with Ribbon client also and give the name to the client as the class name itself. And I will need one other configuration class. For this, I will create one extra module, one extra package. We call it auto configure, as I did for the other submodules, auto configure. Since I am using Springcloud auto configuration and I'm not using the auto wiring feature, to initialize the beans which I need. And here I will define my configuration class. I will call it Springcloud Demo Load Balancer Configuration. And I will annotate this class with that configuration annotation so that it will be scanned by Spring framework. I will get back to this class afterwards, but let's finalize this main class first. Here now I will use this configuration. This configuration here I will use as the configuration for my clients. Each ribbon client has a default configuration, but we can override the configuration using our self-defined configuration, as I did here. And I will use now my configuration class Spring. Let's copy it from here even. And paste it here. Yeah, I have to import the class first. Okay, and now I can start my application. Spring application as usual .run, pass the class name Springcloud Demo class and args, and that's it. Now we are done with our ribbon client here. Using this annotation now, Springcloud Netflix will create an application context using which this ribbon client now will get a set of components which made the client itself. We will see which components are this. Now I have to define my controller. One controller class, I will define it here. I will call it services controller. Let's call this one. Okay. Let's call it difference. I will call it Springcloud Demo Controller, Springcloud Demo Load Balancer Controller. And okay, I will annotate it with the REST control annotation. Yeah. This class will use now the REST templates from Spring. REST templates to query the data now using to query the data from Zookeeper. We will see how, but now I have to copy this one first because the method I want to define has the same signature as this one. Okay. But now instead of using service registry, I will use the REST templates, get for objects, and we'll pass the URL for the service I want to call, http:// and now I will use the name of this application here, the service, then instances, and now I will pass the instance name, which is defined here as parameter, and the return type will be service instance mapper dot class, Okay, I think I'm done here, but now let's get back to the rest in templates. Since we are trying to implement here the load balancing, I have to make here the REST template as load balance. For that, I will since I'm not here using auto wire, as I mentioned before, I'm using the auto configuration. That means my REST template, I will instantiate it here. But let me first create the constructor here first for this controller. Generate constructor. Okay, and now I will have to instantiate my REST template here in the configuration Springcloud demo load balancer configuration which I've defined here. For that, I will create one extra bin here. Bin, and this bin will get return REST templates. And this REST template now return new REST template. And now I will tell the client that this template is now load balanced using this annotation. That means now the REST template is load balanced. It can use the features from Ribbon Client Load Balancer, like fetching. In my case, I want to fetch now, since I'm passing here only the service name for this service, because this here is the proper request mapping is defined. That means this call will be mapped. This call here, REST template get for object will be mapped to the call which is defined in the service. Since I'm using the service name, now the service name will be resolved using using Zookeeper, because for this service I will get an instance registered in Zookeeper, and from there the service name will be resolved, and using service discovery, and the call will be mapped to the call here, to the call in this controller. Okay, and okay, this is the first one. Then I have to instantiate also my controller here, bin, and I will instantiate my controller only if it's not there, conditional on missing bin, and public Springcloud demo load balancer controller, Springcloud demo load balancer controller, demo load balancer controller. This will get as a parameter the REST templates. REST templates, and this parameter now will be passed to the controller constructor, means to this constructor. Return new. Okay, and the strategy, there are different strategies which the Ribbon client can use, like round robin, like best availability, but I will use here another strategy which is called okay, that means I will have to override the implementation of this I rule here from the default configuration. Let's define this, and here instead of round robin I will use the strategy which is called weighted response time rule. That means according to the response time of each service, he will get the response, the request will be load balanced according to the response time to each service. That's why it's called weighted. It means according to the response time to each service, each service will get a weight, a kind of weights where the request will map to the service itself. As I told, there are also other implementation for the I rule, like availability filter rule, best availability. That means the best available instance server will get the request, or round robin, and I am using here the weighted response time, rule. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I still have to enable the auto configuration. Let's copy the stuff from here because it's the same. Let's copy it from the Spring demo web. Copy this folder and paste it here and adapt it. Okay, but now instead of this configuration, I will have to pass this one, the configuration for our load balancer. Okay, package name is the same, and the class I have to copy from here and paste it over there. I think now I am done. Let me add one input here to see while load balancing from which, because I will start two different instances, and I want to see if, which instance is getting the request. For that, I will add one input here. Fetch instance information. Information. Okay, let's build our project first. Okay, and I still need something here because I need to define the port for the application I've defined here. For that, I will add one file, application YAML, server port is 9095, and the application name I have to define here, Spring application name. And the application name, as I defined here, this is this one, because that will be the name of our Ribbon clients. Okay, I think now I'm done. Let's start our load balancer application. Okay, application has been started on port 9095. Now let's start the demo application. Takes a little bit time. Okay. Okay, application has been started on port 9093, and now I want, in order to demonstrate the load balancing which I've implemented here, I'll have to install another instance, and for that I have to change the port number here of the demo application, of this application, and start a second instance. Okay, it takes a little bit of time. Okay, application has been started on port 1994. That means I have one instance which is running on 1994, and the second instance is running on 1993. And now we can first clear everything here. Okay, clear everything, and let's demonstrate now. We will see using this input which have defined here, if the input will go in this instance or in this instance. And the port for our load balancer we have defined here 1995. Okay, let's change this one to 1995. Okay, everything is running. Let's see now. Okay, that means the first call has gone here. Now let's do the second call. We don't see an output here. That means the call has been done here. Yeah, we have one call here in this instance and one call here. Let's clear here everything. Clear also here everything. Now let's refresh our page. Now the call has gone here. That's the first instance. Let's refresh again, and you can see here the other call has gone here. Now to refresh, and now has stopped. That means the call has gone here. That means using now our REST templates, we are load balancing between two instances from this service here, which is running on different ports. The first instance is running on 1994, and the other instance is running on 1993. And like this, we have defined our load balancing using our REST templates, which is load balanced as I defined here in my configuration. Our REST template is load balanced, and I am using the ribbon client, which has got this name, and this configuration will override the default configuration for the ribbon client. Default configuration, I think it's defined here, mentioned here somewhere. I think it's called ribbon clients configuration somehow. Okay, I think this is this class. Yeah, this one. This is the default configuration for the ribbon clients. Yeah, and this class defined, for example, the name of the ribbon clients. In our case, the ribbon client name is this one, is this name, and it's defined it instantiates an iClient config which hold the configuration for the ribbon client and for the load balancer. Store the configuration of the ribbon client and load balancer. It defines here the strategy for fetching the instances. In my case, I am using here the weighted response strategy, response time strategy. That means according to the response time of each service. In my case, with service, I mean to each service from this one to instance, according to the response time, each service will get a weight, and the request will go to the proper service accordingly, according to the weight. And it define other stuffs. This ribbon client configuration define other stuff like the ping strategy, how to check if the instance is available. In our case, it's a dummy ping. That means it will consider that the service is available each time, but you can You can override it if you want accordingly, and it defines how to fetch the list of the instances. The instances, in our case, the list for the instances will be fetched from Zookeeper using the service discovery. If you see, I've just passed the name of the service, and since this service is registered in Zookeeper, then it will be resolved accordingly. Start the Zookeeper inspector, which I showed before in the previous video. Okay, you can see here for the Springcloud demo, I have two instances. As I mentioned. For one service, you can have multiple instances. In my case, I've started two instances. The first instance is running on port 1993, and the second instance is running on port 1994. That's why two instances. For the load balancer application, I've got only one instance. Yeah, and using the service name Springcloud demo, yeah, this service name, the load balancer will resolve this name to the proper service using the service discovery. Yeah, I hope that this video, I think we are done, and I hope that this video will be helpful for you. If you like the video, go and like it and subscribe to the channel, and I'm looking forward to see you in next videos. And yeah, bye.